There's something really weird going on in a major American city that I don't think anybody's ever heard of.
It is just finally picking up steam, which is crazy when you think about it. It's a mystery that's going on in Ohio, mainly in the Cleveland area. So nearly 50 school children went missing in September alone, and they've had over 1,000 missing so far this year.
For the year.
Which
for
is
just the
an
year.
insane amount considering this is in Cleveland alone.
Yeah, weird.
So the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, they said there's not really a reliable estimate as to how many children in the U.S. are missing because a lot of them are never reported. So we don't actually know the exact number, but the FBI recorded 359,094 missing children in 2022, which is an increase over the year before.
Oh. Wow.
So they're saying this is kind of an epidemic that's going on in Cleveland. We have a clip that's an example of one of the children that has just recently gone missing, so we'll take a listen to that.
This story is a bit urgent, really they all are, but this is a 15-year-old boy, and he went missing in June. This is Keyshawn Williams, and on June 17th of this year, he called his mother at about 10 p.m. saying he was coming home from a house party. It was on Gertrude Avenue in the Slavic Village neighborhood of Cleveland, Ohio. He never made it home. No one has heard from him since. His phone was tracked to Washington Park, but it was turned off there and his SIM card was removed. He was reported missing on June 17th with an Amber Alert because of his age, and to my knowledge, the Amber Alert is still active. There's a $10,000 reward for information leading to his whereabouts. His entire family, including his grandmother and mother, want him back. His mother has said publicly that she's nervous, fragile, and frantic. It's not like him at all to not contact his family. She said her child has never left this long. He never misses church. He also never misses his boxing practice, and he never misses family meals. She said that he loves to eat, and he looked forward to them.
So it kind of goes on for a little
5'7"
bit
and 130 pounds.
Describes him. But this is just, again, one of over 1,000 kids that have gone missing. The Cleveland PD, their response to all of this, now that it's finally starting to get some media attention, they said the majority of these kids are typically runaways, is what they think is the deal. And they said that a runaway is not immune to the dangers of society, including gang activity, drugs, prostitution, and perhaps leading into human trafficking. However, because they are susceptible to these dangers, it doesn't mean they always will be. He said it doesn't minimize the importance of their case, but they want the reporting done on the situation to be fair and balanced.
Okay. I mean, if you're a runaway, I would assume that at some point you ditch your cell phone. But do you go through and take the SIM card out?
Right.
I mean, that's, I don't like that.
Right. And, you know, they're saying what makes kids hard to find is the lack of photos. I think we have a quick clip about that as well.
It makes it really hard because without a picture, it's hard to put a face with a name. And so, you know, putting a name out there, unless somebody knows that person, makes it very, very hard for law enforcement. And so this is one of the reasons why our organization, like Cleveland Missing, works with families to try to help bring these children home safe and provide support measures for their families. But again, without a picture, it makes it very, very difficult for law enforcement.
So, like he mentioned, an organization, Cleveland Missing, an entire organization has been created in the Cleveland area to provide support to families of missing persons, assisting with searches for loved ones and helping them cope because this is happening so frequently, which is crazy. So,
do they suspect that they're being trafficked in the sex trade? Is that what it is?
PD, they basically just keep saying, we don't really know. I mean, they don't know what is happening to these kids. Now, they have recovered quite a few kids. So there are a lot that are missing. They do recover a large number of them as well. They said last year, only 5 of those children that were missing were abducted by strangers that they recovered. So, but I thought this was really interesting, and I couldn't find anything anywhere else about this until this morning, and it was only on one small news site. There's an alternative weekly newspaper that's based in Cleveland, Ohio, called the Cleveland Scene. And one of their writers broke a story yesterday saying John Zittner, he's the founder of Breakthrough Charter Schools in Ohio, he was arrested in a human trafficking sting.
Oh, no.
So the Attorney General, Dave Yost, announced that they arrested nearly 150 suspects in a sting called Operation Buyer's Remorse. He was charged with engaging in prostitution.
Jeez.
So like I mentioned, he was one of the
man.
founders of the Breakthrough Charter Schools in Cleveland. And until
Yeah.
very recently, he was the president of the Friends of Breakthrough nonprofit. And that organization is an advocacy organization trying to help close the gap in public funding needed to provide quality education to thousands of children in Cleveland each year.
Wow.
So I didn't see this, again, like I said, I only saw it on one other media site this morning. So this has not been covered widely yet. But could there be a connection there? We don't know.
But maybe, I mean, that would make sense, right?
But he does have pretty heavy involvement with school children. And those are the ages of kids that are going missing. Again, this is all alleged. There may be no correlation whatsoever. But it is concerning that someone in that position is being arrested for prostitution.
According to Cleveland Police Chief Wayne Drummond, he said that of the cases this year, of the 1,072 children, 1,072 who've been reported missing, they've recovered 1,020, which would mean 52 still missing, right? But that's way too many.
It's still a lot of in a
Way too
concentrated area.
Yeah,
if it was statewide or if it was over the span of several
over the
states.
country.
But in Cleveland, the Cleveland area specifically, this has really become a big problem. So if you do live in the Cleveland area, if you go to the missing persons site, if you have any information about any of those children, you can call. There's a phone number. It's 216-632-7697. Or there is also an email address on their site where you can send in tips.
And watch out for your kids.
Right.
I mean, be on high alert.
And on a
Jeez.
happy note, do I have time to bring some
I
happy
like
news?
happy
Okay.
Yes, please.
All right. So there was a 9-year-old girl that vanished from her family's camping trip
Yeah,
earlier
New
this
York,
week
right?
in New York. Yes. And they found her. So
Oh,
she
good.
has been recovered. She was found inside a cabinet in her abductor's camper van.
Oh my gosh.
So her name's Charlotte
So she was abducted.
Yes. She was taken by
wow.
this guy.
Jeez.
And they said that she is in good health, that she's doing well. But the perpetrator, Craig Ross Jr., he was arrested. He's currently under questioning. He lived inside a trailer at his mother's property in Milton, New York.
About 36 hours.
Another real winner.
But he was
46.
captured because he tried to place a ransom note at her parents' home, and it had his DNA all over it. And he'd been arrested previously, I think, for DWI. So they were able to track him down, which is amazing.
Grateful he's dumb.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So that family, we're so happy for them because this is not typically the outcome.